course, we already see Jarvan banned away as Anivia, and Jarvan, I mean, Hercubot's been playing exceptionally well, and he's been playing exceptionally well just overall. And of course, Supi plays him quite a bit too, so why not take him out?
Wondering if we're going to see a Zac ban here. We saw SK banning Zac yesterday, actually, against Gambit, so really interested to see how that one goes down. Varus going to be taken out there by SK, obviously that's aimed straight in towards Yellow Peak. Nasus was taken away from Hercubot as well, and the Rumble against Kevin. And
they left Twisted Fate open. Just as I was saying, you can't let them have that Twisted Fate, but Kassadin is left available. So if they want to, they can lock him in and just completely counter him. Or the downside of that is you want someone that can really push against a Twisted Fate, so maybe even Ahri, even Lux who's left open, which you can really help out the team. Of course, Shen was also left open, so Wicked, we might see him on his classic Brickin Shen in the top lane. But still, we saw a lot of junglers banned out for Evil Geniuses. We saw a top laner take away from Kevin and Wicked with that Rumble, and then a lot of just pure damage coming out of SK's bans.
Yeah, the Thresh is going to be in there for Crepo as well, so he's got a chance to show us what he's made of with those hooks here today. And as you can see, Ocelot sporting a new scarf for today. He's obviously the one yesterday didn't bring him too much luck, so
I wonder if he burned that one.
That was like too traditional, and I think Trevor called it the tablecloth scarf. Today is very much a different style, though. It's a bit off the wall, funky fluorescent colours, so maybe that'll change. SK Gaming here going for Volibear in the jungle and picking up Elise, which, you know, traditionally now for SK, we're always looking at Nif with Elise.
Yeah, so we were quite surprised at how well he actually played that Nif. I mean, he's always done a fantastic job on every single support, especially Sona in my mind. But the Elise just did a phenomenal job. It was versus Gambit, went 3-0 with it in the beginning against Thresh, who was played by Edward, and we know how good he is on Thresh, so he might be able to surprise us again. He might be able to do extremely well in that lane.
Yeah, I was very surprised how well he did with that Nif as well, Jason. So EG's next pick's coming out. Misfortune is where they are right now. You didn't even realize
I didn't realize. I'm like, why are you laughing?
That happens sometimes. I know Demon, myself and Demon back in Season 1 and 2, we had problems with Candy Panda and Caitlyn. We always called Caitlyn Candy Panda and the other way around.
Oh.
But EG, looking like we're going to see Zac here once again, which tells me that Shen is going to go in the jungle to Snoopy, as we saw yesterday. And honestly, he played really, really well on Shen as well.
Considering, if we remember back to exactly what happened in level 1 action, he flash taunted, so he leveled up his Shadow Dash right away, and he immediately got set behind the jungle. But because he was able to sit in the top lane as Wicked died, he caught up, and because of that, he got his level 6, he turned around all these fights, and it really helped out EG quite a bit. And the Zac, I mean, let me ask you this, Joe, have you been impressed with it so far, just in general of what we've seen?
Yes. I think there's still a lot of time to be had with Zac. I mean, he's the newest champion in. Technically, obviously, I guess you can count Karma in there as well, since the remake is also available this week. Not seen any of it yet. But I have been impressed with him. He's very, very powerful. You called Soaz an immovable object from his game yesterday. And definitely Zac in the right hands is going to cause a few problems. We've seen him in the top lane. Yeah, more than in the jungle. We've not actually seen him in the jungle here in Europe up until now, but we have seen in other regions that he's been in the jungle, so we'll see how he can make the impact today. Candy Panda going to be picking up Ezreal this time, and there is Renekton coming out for Kevin.
So they have a very mobile team right now. They have a really hard team to lock down, which Evil Geniuses might need to pick up someone here specifically for that. Remember, Lux is still available if they want to go for that. That's a lot of damage. I mean, I'm going to say it's a troll. I'm assuming that's a troll because I believe she has like a 1% win rate or... No, 1% pick rate in overall of League of Legends. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it, but I know it's very low at this point.
According to my games, it's not that low. I can tell you that. But it is going to be the Kassadin that's locked in there. And this is actually something that Crepo told me before we came in, that when they go... when they start on the red team, on the purple team, whatever, they are going to leave. Their plan was to leave Kassadin open and go with something else against him. But actually, SK went for Twisted Fate anyway, because that was still left open, and we are going to be seeing Froggen on that Kassadin right now with teleport as well, so he's going to be looking to try and counter that Twisted Fate once he hits level 6 and has the Destiny available.
Yeah, I was thinking about the middle lane, and we've seen a lot of teams send a 2v1 against Asa just to shut him down early on so he can't really get that momentum built up, but you know, with the Kassadin, there's no reason to not put him there unless you want to send a bot lane with a blue buff. I don't really expect that to happen too much, but it's really interesting to see how well Froggen will use these teleports to counter those Twisted Fate ultimates, and how well SK can actually use the ultimates in terms of coordinate with their jungler and coordinate with their lane to really kill someone.
As we get into matchup here, talk us through level 1, Jason. Can we expect anything, and where would it come from either of these two setups?
Well, we've had Evil Geniuses, like I say every time when we actually cast them in terms of level 1 action, he likes to say that they study the enemy team quite a bit, but it looks like it actually might be in the other hands here. We're already seeing As you can see on the mini-map right there, Wicked screen that... Actually, no, you can't see it on his screen because that would be a little bit of map hacks. But SK already heading towards the top side of the jungle here, and it looks like they might be able to catch Wicked. He's not expecting this, and he actually might die. Remember, he does have his passes, so he can't get back up, but I don't think he can survive. Oh, he pulls a red card!
I'm not sure the red card's a problem. Wicked turned around at the right time there, and is actually...
I don't think he knows.
No, I'm not sure that he knows either. I think he did skill up his elastic slingshot there. Let's have a look quickly over to him. Trying to
hasn't skilled anything up yet.
I thought I saw on his screen him actually doing that, but he was obviously just checking out the range, whatever. And he's going to put a ward down there by the blue buff. He's going to spot Kevin, which... Will Wicked actually back away from this one?
We have seen a face check before.
We've seen Wicked fall into the most horrible of traps before, that's for sure. And there is the jump from him away. But we are going to see SK coming in. The rest of Evil Genius is actually coming around. They've now decided to back off from this. So very intense action early on from this. They're going to go for him. They're going in at level 1. The stun card goes down. The Cocoon's in there. The Ignite is down. And there is the kill. It's a first blood coming out from Ocelot. But the rest of the team are there. The hook lands from Crepo. EG now going to chase in. Hercubot and the rest of SK running those pots as Wicked dives in, gets flipped back, exhausts is down, Wicked going low. He will actually get his passive popped here. It's going to take time, and they protect him to make sure he doesn't die in the end. Crazy level 1.
And we heard about SK in that video saying we have things set up for Evil Genius. We have something prepared, and they showed it right there. And the balls in them to flash in on a Shen who's right next to his turret, to flip him in, to try to land all their CC, even though they missed Cocoon, and diving him level 1 under that turret was just insane, because SK is such a great start, and the kill went over to Ocelot. We talked about momentum, and we might see it just really start to snowball here.
Well, I think the great thing there was that Hercubot, as you'd expect from junglers, they know the range on the turret so perfectly well. And he realized that Shen was just outside of it, and he flashed in perfectly, so that I think he only took 1 turret hit in the end there after the taunt came in. So that was a nice start. Hercubot just as blue, getting very low, is going to have to go home.
And speaking of nice start, Snoopy's running to the same problem he did yesterday. His flash is down. He had to skill up his Shadow Dash right away. We'll see if he can get back in the jungle like he did yesterday. However, that was with Wicked dying in the lane. He was able to hold it and pick up some of that CS. But this is not a good start for Evil Geniuses at all.
Well, this already looks like a different SK to what we saw from them yesterday. I mean, they're not playing Gambit, which might be part of that problem here. They were just incredible in our second semi-final yesterday. But up until now, it is a very nice lead for SK right off the bat. Obviously, that first blood, 4.4 to 3.7 thousand gold as the champions get off into lane. Twisted Fate already 12-7 up on Cassidy, and of course it was Ocelot that got that first blood as well. And we saw in their week 9 matchup against Gambit, ironically enough, how much of a terror Ocelot is with Twisted Fate.
Yes, that is very true, and we'll see if he's able to pull that same kind of play off again here. We do have, if you look on your main map, Shen sitting inside the Baron pit right now. Not sure if that was, actually that was on purpose. He shot dashed over that wall. He wants to go for an invade here or go for some sort of gank on the top lane. And if he can land, this could be a very nice setup for Evil Geniuses.
Well, you got to feel that it's going to be
He's not spotted.
You got to feel it's all about the hook here. If they can land a hook onto someone, that's a nice Cocoon. That's going to stop Crepo getting to range. The taunt will land though. Let's see if Crepo can get in there. The flay comes out. Yellow Peak slays Nip. And that will be 1-for-1. Nice play out of EG.
A fantastic play to Super right there. Using Shen to his complete advantage. I mean, we talk about all these junglers and how if they want to go for some really sneaky ganks, which we've seen in OGN happen, where they go for flashes over walls or to try to avoid some wards, he went over that Baron pit just like he does on Jarvan and came in for that perfect gank. There was a ward in that tri-bush and he ran completely around it. Such a great play out of him. We do have Hercubot though stealing away his blue, which is a really big downside since he was spotted towards the top.
Yep, we'll see how Hercubot manages to deal with all that one here. As in his top lane, Candy Panda actually being chased down, goes very low in the end. Doesn't quite get finished off though. Snoopy was not quite in range to really help out with that one either.
He's a little bit behind in terms of overall experience, but he was able to get that assist at top, and he gets that extra gold income. He's gonna, obviously the kill's going to help him on the experience, so we'll see how well he can actually still play this off. He's already done a phenomenal job. I mean, even though he got dope on a turret, he just shrugged it off really quickly, and he just came back into the game saying, hey, I'm going to gank this top lane, we're going to get a kill, and we're going to get some lanes fed.
So Kevin versus Wicked here down in the bottom. It's been the quietest of lanes up until now. They just kind of went in there after that crazy level 1 action. They've just been farming up. They're pretty level on that one as well. Obviously, Renekton did get that assist from the first blood and has just gone home, picked himself up the Ruby Crystal, and also a pink ward in there, along with that normal ward as well. So we'll see what he does with that one. Whether they're planning a bit of an early dragon here with that pink ward out of Renekton.
Yeah, early dragon or very early gank, because Hercubot, his flash would be up in time if you want to go down towards this bottom side. They have their AD carry support top lane, so they're going to be missing out on a big chunk of damage, but if they can make a play, like for instance, if they can pick up a kill in mid lane before Froggen hits 6, or maybe kill bot lane on the Wicked, they can easily turn that right into a dragon.
Well, this top lane, let's have a look at the AD carries. 26 to 25, almost identical in terms of their items. Yeah, Potts and Ward were there with Yellow Pete, but they have the vamp set to Aaron Doran's Blade a piece from that one, which means that damage-wise they're going to be putting out very similar amounts. There's Wicked again, taking a bit of harassment from Kevin, and they're quite happy to just go toe-to-toe here. Wicked, of course, with Zac, you've got great sustain with the fact that you get health back for using an ability, and it's more than what the ability costs in the end. And
the thing is, what's really good is that Renekton's very strong early on. Like, he could do so much damage because he's more of like a bruiser caster in the sense of all of his abilities. Doesn't really auto-attack too much, but he has the ability to get away. He has the ability to slow down Kevin, so he's pretty safe in his lane. Doesn't really have very many wards set up at this moment. And he will have flash up very shortly, so he's playing pretty safe. He's playing pretty comfortable at this point.
Well, let's see. Froggen going home in the mid lane, just picking himself up the tier, and Boots there to come back into this middle lane. Twisted Fate right now, obviously First Blood giving him a big advantage there. Doran's Ring, plus the Lucky Pick, plus a Negatron Cloak. Wow, that really would be something. The No Magic Mantle and the Boots for Ocelot.
And I'm a little bit curious to see that. Well, not curious. I'm actually impressed with Froggen and how will he CS even though all that happened. I mean, because he's a melee champion, obviously, against the range that also has stuns. He has the ability to lock him down, and yet he wasn't falling that far behind in terms of CS. We do have Ocelot, as you can see on your minimap. He's sitting potentially towards the top side of going for a gank because he is level 7, and I wouldn't be surprised to actually see Froggen ward up the lane just to see where he goes.
Yeah, me either. Froggen, of course, does have a ward there in his bag to make sure that can happen. Kevin did just push Wicked completely out of that lane area, and here we go. He's going to go towards the dragon area. There is a pink ward going to be put down, and there was a pink ward there from EG that literally just timed out the second that Kevin came into view. They saw that ward go down.
That is pretty funny, and it's a shame for Kevin. Wasn't able to get that little bit of extra gold, but well, in the end, he creates some nice vision in the bot lane. He knows that Snoopy is maybe lurking around. Actually, no, he does because he was spotted by the ward. And Snoopy only level 4 at this point. We have Hercubot level 5. I'm curious to see how close Snoopy is to 5. He's actually almost there. But Hercubot's going to be picking up the blue here, getting over to Ocelot. Going to be getting a lot of experience over him. But we will have the double, I say globals in a light turn because you have the Shen ulti and the teleport out of Froggen. So they should be able to counter Ocelot quite well if they can pull this off.
Yeah, and that's the danger that I think Twisted Fate's going to find from this one Snoopy hits at level 6, that Froggen can get straight up there with the teleport, and then Snoopy's involved as well. So all of a sudden you'll find yourself outnumbered again from that one. As Hercubot comes around, Snoopy's still in the jungle, and he's spending, again, a lot of time here away from his farming to really check out what's going on that bottom side of the SK jungle, and he really needs to hit that level 6 as Wicked and Kevin going head-to-head here once again in the bottom lane.
We did see in the middle lane, it wasn't caught on camera, but we saw Snoopy flash, try to go for a taunt on an Ocelot, but he flashed out of it. So now his flash is down, Snoopy's flash is down, and like I said before, Snoopy was committing so much time to go for these ganks, wasn't farming up too much, and it might affect him in the long run.
Yeah, we also saw in the top lane bullet time used by Misfortune, as we are going to see Wicked here in all kinds of trouble. He is going to get split off here. Have they got the damage to finish him, though? You can see they're trying to hit the parts of that floor just outside from the turret range. And in the end, whoa, Wicked gets hit with the wild cards at the end. Froggen, as we said, was starting to come down. Did cancel his teleport in the end, though.
That was a great deterrence out of him right there, just to stop that kill from happening on a Wicked. So they're going to be very happy with that in the end, because Froggen's ultimate, or his teleport should be up relatively soon to where Ocelot's ultimate will be, but Snoopy's going to get some nice experience that he really needs in this bottom lane with this wave pushed up.
Yeah, Snoopy going to be happy for that, that's for sure. That should just about knock him up towards level 6 there in the end. As I said, Yellow Pete doesn't have bullet time available. We didn't quite catch it on the screen, but he did use it against Sniff and Candy Panda in that top lane to push them away from that. Taking a little bit of damage in there as well. The CS is starting to become a little bit more favorable here for Candy Panda as well. We'll see how Yellow Pete can really deal with that one going forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine what Candy Panda wants to build this time, because he did go for Spirit of the Elder Lizard against Gambit with his Ezreal. I'm curious to see if he's going to go for that item yet again. It's not a bad item, but it was nerfed within the last couple of patches, so it's not as strong as it would have been back then. But as you see on your screen right now, that middle turret's already very low because Froggen's been trying to roam around a little bit. Ocelot's just been applying that pressure with that first kill, and he already has his Twin Shadows done. So if he does go for a gank, he's going to have that slow, he's going to have that stun card, and it really should open up on an opportunity for a kill.
Got the Boots of Swiftness added in there for Volibear right now as well. That means that Hercubot obviously going to be able to get around the map that bit quicker. Wicked just getting a ward down in the tri-bush. That's an important ward position, that's for sure, because the fact that Kevin's been pushing that lane fairly heavily could be a danger for him. As we see the Rift walk away by Frog and doesn't want to get involved there with Ocelot, who just was picking a card out. And it's always kind of scary when a Twisted Fate walks your way trying to pick the card. You've always got to be careful. Krepo actually is going to be recalling in this bush, and as I say that, he stops the recall. Hercubot just over the other side of the wall, so they're ready and waiting for this one. And Krepo is going to come out. They're going towards Ocelot. There's the fling. Here comes Shen, though, into it. The box is down as well. Ocelot taking a lot of damage. The taunt not quite landing. The ignite, though, will be enough to finish him off. Actually, it was Snoopy that finished him in the end there. And now Snoopy being chased by Hercubot. There are 3 low from Evil Geniuses, but I'm not sure that Hercubot does have the damage. He will munch down, but he gets hooked in there as well. Can Froggen and Krepo finish off? No, they can't. There's the passive out of Volleyball.
Such great awareness out of Hercubot right there to realize they have no mana. They cannot kill me. As you see, Froggen, almost getting dropped by the Ezra ultimate right there. But we do have to look back at that fight, and that was the reaction that came out of Evil Geniuses was just so fast, because you know they didn't really expect Hercubot to be there. They didn't have a word to spot it. But right when Krepo went in, he's like, oh crap, ult me. And Stupid came in, was able to save his life right there, able to kill Ocelot and really hold him back a little bit. Obviously, we did see Stupid die in the end, so 1-for-1 trade overall.
And it was Snoopy's red buff that, of course, finished off that kill there. It's like, where did that extra damage come from at the end? The tick, but of course, it was the red, which Hercubot did get back afterwards. So, Dragon going to be started out here by SK Gaming. They are currently a good 2k gold in the lead. And that is only going to be getting bigger after they finish this one off. And there we see it, 3,000 gold on the board. Nicely done from SK's. The Twin Shadows actually going out there. Snoopy will get hit by them. And we talk often about these Twin Shadows because it's not only great for the active that it gives in terms of the slow there on those ghosts, but it's also great for just checking out for scouting because they will find that nearest target. And
not to mention the magic resist that it gives you. Like when you get Hercubot to get a runic bulwark, I mean that gives you so much magic resist. Pair that in with the Merc Treads against a double AP comp, you're not gonna be able to burst him down that easily. I wouldn't be surprised if he follows it up with the Zonias very shortly. Obviously the Lich Bane as well, because the Zonia's bait that Ocelot does so well, that Messiah does so well, is just so perfect. It can really catch a team off guard, even if there's as experienced as Evil Geniuses.
So we are seeing the build once again coming out of Candy Panda that we saw him trying to get for yesterday, which is that Spirit of the Elder Lizard. Didn't quite work the way as intended yesterday because, well, quite frankly, they got stomped against Gambit. But we have seen this successfully being used in the European LCS so far, of course. This was pretty much pioneered over in Korea by Bebe, actually. And we saw No going for this build in one of their games earlier on. So that was a really, really strong build for him. We've also seen it not going so well for other players. Yeah, I mean, No ended up going 11-0-11 in that game at one point. That was just like ridiculous score out of him. But, okay, so we've seen items like this built up before. It was on a Nunu, onto Soaz, even onto Alex. And you kind of expected maybe an early Baron because it gives you the extra damage versus creeps, versus mobs like that. So that could be a possibility. But obviously the health regen's going to help out, the mana regen's going to help out, and also the cooldown reduction, which is really key for an Ezreal. I mean, it's not a huge thing you usually go for, but it gives you, quicker arcane shifts for those team fights, gives you more damage if you're trying to go for poke with the Qs, so it's actually not too bad of an item. So Snoopy coming around to this top side now that Pinkwood did clear out SK's vision early on, but Ocelot in the middle lane, he's going on towards Froggen. He's going to pop his ultimate here, so if Froggen does Rift Walk, he can get in there. Actually pulled away from the wild card. Wow. Not going to matter though. Ocelot follows him straight up, and that is a very dead Froggen. It's Hercubot that gets the kill, and I think that was right at the end of Destiny there from Ocelot.
I want to look back at that later and wonder if Ocelot actually preemptively ulted over that wall, or he actually just reacted that quickly to where Froggen was going. It was just ridiculously insane to get over that wall at the exact same time, because he was able to teleport in fully and be able to pick up that kill. Great job by them. And now you have Hercubot 2-0-1, and we've seen him in the past. When he starts to get a little fed, he can really carry his team.
Yeah, definitely not scared to get in there. And that's the beauty of Hercubot. We see that he generally is in the right place at the right time, doesn't overextend on those ganks to get kills.
Yeah, very true. He's actually, I mean, if you look at like most improved players over the entirety of LCS, I'd say he's like one of the top 3 for me, just in how well he's really adapted to the team. Because we know SK, they've always had problems with lineups, but he's really done well with them.
Snip taking a lot of damage. We are going to see True Shot Barrage coming out. Yellow Pete gets hit with the Cocoon. Have they got the damage? The shield comes out of Crepo. We are going to see Froggen coming in on that top side. SK have got vision of it though, and we see instantly the move away from both players in that lane from SK Gaming. That was a nice reaction, but Snoopy here in the jungle caught out by both Ocelot and Hercubot. Not quite got the damage though.
So we've seen a great job so far for SK to stop any presence from these teleports. We saw Froggen have to use it in the bot lane just to protect Wicked. We saw it right there. They were able to escape, but EOG's hasn't done the same to SK, where also its teleports have really helped out. They were able to proc Wicked's passive. They were able to pick up that kill on a Froggen, so overall SK is doing quite well. We have Kevin Hercubot trying to dive on Wicked here, but that movement speed for that ultimate is just so devastating.
Yeah, trying to get in there. There's a flash over the top as well from Wicked, and he will stay safe. However, now Froggen is coming up towards his top lane. Evil Genius is going to look for a 3-man gank now onto Nif and Candy Panda. Will they be able to pull that one off? There's a Spiderling going out, which actually won't give them the best of ideas there. That Froggen's there, but as they go in aggressive, he decides he's going to have to Rift Walk away from that one, and that's nicely done from SK. They're going to use that True Shot Barrage to get rid of the minions as well and force them to really come under the tower if they want that dive. And
one thing I really like about what Evil Genius is doing, they knew Snoopy had like a decently hard time in terms of early on because he was forced to level his taunt up, right away. But they're allowing Froggen to roam around Kasten and pick up some kills, which is what you want to do for Kasten. You want him to snowball in this mid game, and they're allowing Snoopy to catch up in the middle lane by getting all this free farm, getting this free experience. So it's a great play. It's a really smart play of Evil Geniuses.
SK have actually pushed right out there once again. The fact that Ocelot was coming up, they've seen that Kassadin is back towards that middle lane. There's a Cocoon not quite landing there on towards Yellow Pete. But this is a very volatile lane in this top lane. Considering the compositions we've got, Ocelot again has Destiny off cooldown and will surely get in there. As Kevin taking a lot of damage down the bottom, but will stun up Wicked there to stop him following through.
Yeah, Wicked unfortunately didn't have the ultimate to go for that kill because he has Ignite, and you see that Kevin has ultimate right now to stop this, so he could have gone for a kill with that up, but that just shows the power of, I guess, Zac versus Renekton, because he didn't build an AP this time. He went for a completely different build than he normally does on Zac with that Sunfire Cape, and it's working out well for him so far. He might become an immovable object that Soaz did yesterday.
Well, in terms of farming, that Sunfire Cape, of course, is going to be helping him out a hell of a lot, not to mention the armor that you're going to be getting from that one as well. Wicked did stop Kevin from really going back here by pushing those waves back on towards his turret. Kevin not want to get any damage onto his own turret, but also doesn't want to be losing any of that farm, but he may just have caught himself out with that one. Wicked waits in the bush, jumps straight in on top of him, says thank you very much. That was an easy kill.
He just got Gooba stomped right there, and I was thinking that Kevin was waiting around just specifically for Ocelot to come down, because he was like, hey, I have my ultimate up now, I have Flash, I have Ignite, I could probably bait this in if we want to, but it looks like they weren't ready for it right then, and that just shows you the power of Zac, that E into the enemy person to knock them up, that little bit of a knock-up, then the ultimate is just ridiculously strong, and he has no AP at that point, remember that. He's just based off of that percent damage health.
And LGG now going for the Dragon. SK nowhere near this one whatsoever. Ocelot does actually have Destiny available if they even had the sniff that things were going in there, and that will be Dragon. However, SK did manage to take down their second turret of the game in that top lane.
And we might even see Genesis be able to pick up a turret off this. If they can get this turret as well, that means they picked up a Dragon and a turret. But we do have, look on your mini-map right now, Nif, and we have Candy Panda coming down from the top side, and we have Twisted Fate ulting in the middle.
Yeah, Twisted Fate goes in there. Actually, he's going to stun Snoopy down from this one. Taunt lands onto Hercubot, but he gets the fling over there. Snoopy gets away onto wards with the lantern, but they've got enough to finish him off. Pretty much everything hit there. That was a Cocoon out of Nif with the stun card at the same time. You're not getting out of that one easily. And now Kevin going back down toward this bottom lane, may get headed off by Wicked, and Froggen nicely done, spotted him with the Tribush Ward.
But yeah, but look where Froggen is. He's out of position right now because Esk is going for a 4-minute push on this middle turret. Evil Genius cannot afford to lose this. The gold lead is already heavily in favor of SK, and they might be able to pick this up.
Well, the hook does land on towards Nif, who will flay him backwards as the box comes in. There's a bullet time, but the repel is going to save Nif at least from the start of that one. It's going to die in the end, though. It's Crepo that secures that kill right underneath the turret.
That support carry right there out of Crepo to pick up the kill. That's a great deterrence out of them as well. Like you mentioned, the bullet time was just beautiful. It was spot on, caught every member of SK and just forced them back. It was able to save that turret, and they're able to pick up a kill off it. So great job by Evil Genius to really turn around that entirety of momentum that SK picked up.
And now Wicked with that kill earlier on has also gained the gold lead, or gained the CS lead, I should really say. I'm not going to say gold lead right now without really looking at them, because obviously the gold lead between these two teams is very, very much in favor of SK right now. Still 4,000, which is definitely not to be sniffed at 20 minutes into the game.
And I'm trying to look at how these compositions are going to work as the game goes on a little bit, because we're about 20 minutes in, so it's going to starting to show their strategies and their plans for this game. So you have Ocelot, he has Lichbane done, he has his Twin Shadows, he has a good amount of magic resist. I'm curious to see if he's actually going to start split pushing a little bit. You would expect a Twisted to do it, but against a Kassadin, who I'm pretty sure can 1v1 him, or a Shen who, I mean, obviously you could pretty much take Shen, but the threat of Froggen teleporting in behind you and going for a kill on you is very high. And they obviously could turn that into a Baron right off the back of that. So it's really in SK's hands in terms of how they want to really go at this.
I see Crepo tucking through on towards the blue buff. Of course, will land with Froggen for the final blows. And that's one of the very few blue buffs that EG have actually had in this game, to be honest. SK have done a great job of taking that away from them.
Yeah, the thing is about both teams, actually, I mean, we've seen, I mean, obviously in some games they don't do it too well, but they've done it in certain games just extraordinarily well, denying so many blue buffs away. And when you have a Kassadin, SK has to stop that. They cannot let him pick that up over and over, or it's going to be a really big problem. You have Froggen wait on the sidelines here, trying to go for Hercubot, but he's just too tanky. That bear's not going to go anywhere.
He's going to get cocooned up here, though, Froggen. He could be in a bit of trouble, as we are going to see him flung backwards. There's the bullet time coming out. Hercubot very, very low. Shen going to go right in there. Snoop is a little bit too far away from the rest of his team, and there is Ocelot with the finisher. And, well, Snoopy going a little bit too deep in that fight. Overextended.
Just look how SK's playing this. Like, every time EG wants to make a move and go for a fight, you have, like, 3 or 4 members of SK come out of the woodwork and just kill you. Like, they just shut it down consistently every time. Froggen actually, he's trying to go in from behind here. I don't think he has the dares to kill any of them, though.
Well, we are seeing that middle inner turret being pressured as Candy Panda going to get nuked down here from this one. He will die to Froggen. Nif now the one that's in a lot of trouble. He's going to fall to Froggen as well. Double kill for Kassadin. And that's definitely not what they wanted to happen. However, Ocelot, you can see there in the bottom left of your hand of your... Let's try that one again.
Screen.
The bottom left-hand side of your screen. We have the split push camera in full effect, as SK have managed to take that inner turret, have done damage to the inhib turret as well.
Yeah, so Jesus proved me wrong right there, so showing that they can do the damage, but now Kevin also trying to run away. Wicked will be able to spot him here, but can they turn this into a Froggen teleport towards the top lane? He's coming in.
Yeah, Froggen coming in now towards Ocelot. He's going to be the main target, as we do see Wicked jump over the side as well. Kevin is going to go through, but Wicked's actually chasing here straight through that Baron pit as well, bouncing his way through. Ocelot trying his best to escape from this one. The cooldown of that blue buff going to be so vital for him if he's going to have a chance here with this one. Does manage to get the ignite down, but the rest of the team close in and he stuns up Yellow Pete. True Shot Barrage comes across. Probably would have finished off Froggen there if it would have actually have landed. Kevin did escape in the end, but they did lose Ocelot.
You have to give Ocelot credit there. That was so well played. So many gold card after gold card after gold card, just shutting Froggen down whenever he would hop over that wall. But good play by EG to really turn around that fight. And we talked about the power of teleport. And with those home guarded boots, with him teleporting towards the top lane, he just showed up instantly, and it caught SK off guard.
Yeah, they can make up a lot of ground here. Wicked, yes, of course, with that elastic slingshot, is all over the map very, very quickly.
Well, you can jump from the red buff here into Baron Pit. I mean, exactly. That's just a ridiculous range. It's farther than Nilly's Spear.
Yeah, can get himself pretty much anywhere that is required. Obviously not quite the other side of the map instantly, like Froggen can, though, with his teleport, and as Shen can with that Stand United. Let's have a look down some of the items here. Let's look at the AD carries, because Misfortune, Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, Berserker Greaves, Spirit of the Elder Lizard, plus the Bloodthirster and Berserker Greaves for Ezreal.
So in terms of items, I have to say that Yellow Pete's pretty far ahead because he has that Last Whisper against the team he's going against. You know, Hercubot has an Aegis, they have a Sunfire Cape on Kevin. He doesn't have an escape mechanism except that flash, so he really has to deal with whoever like gets in his face, and that will obviously be Kevin and Hercubot. So it's a perfect item build for what he needs to go. And he actually might need to maybe build a GA or maybe just get some sort of defensive item early on. But we do have Froggen waiting on the sidelines right there, as you can see on your minimap, trying to go for a kill on Kevin.
Well, Kevin is pretty damn tanky though already, with that Sunfire Cape in there, with that Locket of the Iron Solari as well. Froggen just over the side here. Hercubot going to put a ward straight down on top of him. Not quite quick enough there to get rid of that one, but Dragon is now up and available for the taking. There is the Oracle out of Nif to clear the vision out. Pink ward put down by Crepo on the top side may fall victim to SK here as well, and they're trying to keep EG zoned out of range now of that Dragon. They've not started it off just yet, But this is going to be a crucial point of the game.
And Kenny Panda, he's just poking them non-stop right here because he's getting them lower and lower and lower. So if EG wants to go for an engage, they'll have to engage with, you know, not full 100% health. And SK might be able to take this fight here. Remember, the middle inhibitor turret is already very low at this point. So SK could just switch away from this and go for that if they want it. But we do have the engage happening.
Yeah, we see the hook landing there on towards Hercubot. The true shot barrage comes across the side. And no fight just yet. Damage exchanged. Mystic shots coming out of Candy Panda. Does have that red buff on, of course. And as you said, just throwing those spiderlings, those volatile spiderlings out towards Evil Geniuses to do as much damage as it can. Crepo not quite landing the hook this time around. Will SK take that as an invitation to go in this fight? Doesn't look like it just yet.
Look where Wicked is on your minimap, Joe. He's trying to come in from the back with that elastic slingshot. He's trying to knock them all up here. Does get spotted, though. It's a good job by SK to really back away.
Oh, the hook close to landing there onto Candy Panda, but not landing in the end.
They're tangoing right now. Like this dragon dance is ridiculous.
This is a big tug of war with no one really wanting to go for that extra push in there. We do see Froggen take down the middle turret, and that's why SK have decided to go for Dragon, and they will manage to take that one down. Can they turn it around here? They are going to get in on towards Snoopy. He's going to die far too quickly. The box is down. Bullet time comes across. Hercubot going to be the next target, but his passive keeps him just about alive. Froggen gets stunned up. True Shot Barrage comes in. He will die to Ezreal in the end. I think it was a red buff that ended up finishing him off, and now Candy Panda chasing in on towards Yellow Peak. Kevin going to get in there as well. Ocelot finishes off Crepo, and that is 4 kills coming out, and it may be not over just yet because we are seeing Wicked here trying to back in the bottom side of the jungle. Hercubot's decided not to go for it in the end.
But the middle inhibitor turret's already very low. I mentioned it earlier, it's down about a third health here. So we saw SK, they picked up Dragon and 4 kills for 1 death. That was just ridiculous. They couldn't have gone any better unless, you know, obviously Nip didn't die, but perfect job at SK right there to poke as much as possible, then the disengage, and you saw Snoopy, you saw how quick he died right there, and the Hercubot escaping by the skin of his teeth. He had, I think it was like less than 50 health with his passive, you know, regenerating a little bit right there, but just SK is so perfectly well played.
Yeah, you could say that Hercubot barely got away from that one.
Yes, he did indeed, but Wicked, I mean, he's the only one to really escape from Evil Geniuses, and he's tanky enough, but he wasn't able to get that position. He wasn't able to get the knock-ups he wanted on the Evil Geniuses to really disrupt them. Or sorry, not Evil Geniuses, over to SK to really disrupt them, and also the bolt time that came out of Yellow Pete was just so perfect.
I'm still laughing at it. I'm a pretty sad person, I have to admit. Is Ocelot going to come in here? Taunt lands from Snoopy. They are going to stun up Snoopy, though. Is he going to be able to survive this time around? Wicked's off to the side. Snoopy dies again. They got the blue buff in the end. Well, that went over to Froggen, of course, but was it worth it?
Not at all. And now you have Baron at a very real potential right now. We had Nif, who has an Oracle on him still, so he could just clear away all these wards. And this could be very bad for Evil Geniuses. They have to make a play. We did Froggen around the backside. You can see on your minimap trying to go in. SK's just starting a little bit. Remember, I mean, we're only 27 minutes in, so Baron will do a lot of damage to them, and EG could clean this up.
Baron started off almost at half HP right now. Is Crepo going to throw the hook in and be a bit of a hero here for his team? Of course, they don't have the smite of Snoopy, but Wicked's going to come. There's the bullet time, and it is going to be taken by Evil Geniuses. Wicked inside of the Baron pit with Let's Bounce has knocked a lot of them up here. Froggen takes down Candy Panda. Elise is dead. Kevin going to be chased. He will actually, in the end, have to flash away, but he's trying to get away from a Kassadin. That just doesn't work out as Ocelot pops out, and he will get away with Destiny, but Hercubot might not be so lucky.
What a cleanup by Evil Genius right there. That bullet time was so perfect out of Yellow Pete, able to pick up that Baron on top of that, getting 3 kills for no deaths. You even see the turret in the top lane go down. Hercubot's not going to escape this. He's not barely going to get away this time, Joe. He's definitely dead, and we're going to have Evil Genius push this top lane.
Yeah, really nicely done from EG, and turning this one around now in the gold. 42.4 to 42.1 thousand. This is the first time that EG have been ahead in gold since the start of the game, so very nicely done. You can see there the difference in the mid lane is 20 gold between Ocelot and Froggen.
And we have to remember that SK had, I mean, they had a lead, but they had an actually giant lead because they were up over 4,000 gold for pretty much the entirety of this game. But taking that Baron, I mean, we had, so I think it was Darius in North America say that Baron is kind of like a noob magnet in terms of if you're ahead, like there's no reason to go for it because it always could potentially be stolen away and the game could be taken out of your hands. And we saw right there just how well it can really go for their team if they do steal it away.
Now SK going to be on the back foot somewhat. have a look at the items, because we've not really been there for a while.
There's too much fighting.
So much action going on. And we'll start with the middle lane, because that's where we've been seeing the majority of the kills coming down. Starting with Ocelot, just picked up a needlessly large rod, got that Seeker's Arm Guard in there. So he's headed up towards that Zhonya's Hourglass. Obviously did have the Lich Bane and that Twin Shadows earlier on with the Merc Treads. On the other side, Zerev's Embrace, Rod of Ages from earlier, and the workings of the Death Cap for Froggen.
Yeah, so Froggen, he has the mana to really get around the map quickly when his teleport is not up. So SK, against a Baron of Evil Geniuses, they cannot defend with 4 people. Like Ocelot, he has to be there. He cannot split push right now. And if Evil Geniuses keep this lead, they stop him from doing that entirely, which is just, it completely counters the entire split push strategy that SK was trying to go for with Ocelot. But great job by EG right there. And if they go for it, I imagine Froggen will just be able to 1v1 Ocelot at this point. I mean, he's just so far ahead. Maybe when Ocelot gets his Zhonya's, it'd be a little bit different, but Froggen is just so strong right now.
He won't die quite as quickly. Now, obviously, that will change things somewhat, but I think you're right in that. Now we'll see if SK's little trap that they're setting up here in the bottom lane will be successful for them. EG trying to get all that vision down. Froggen here is coming towards that bottom lane. Ocelot has already pulled the gold card. Are EG going to be baited in? Will they get too greedy with this one? Froggen does start to come in there. Doesn't follow up with a Rift Walk though, and SK back off.
Look where the rest of Evil Geniuses are. They're pushing towards the middle lane. They completely caught SK off guard. I guess EG had a little hankering right there, knowing that they were in that bush. And they're going to get a free turret. Like, this was not contested at all. They are up against a Baron EG, so I wouldn't expect SK to try to defend the outer turrets, but still, it shouldn't be that even for EG. You have to put up some sort of fight.
Yep, and with that, EG saying, well, you're going to come back to middle. We'll go down to bottom once again and try and finish off this final outer turret. In terms of turrets, you know, on the open map, not in the bases, there's not really a lot left on either side, to be honest, except this bottom lane for EG, which is still on full power. Still, the outer turret is up on that side of things. Ocelot here going to be going back. That's interesting, and it looks like we're going to be seeing Froggen doing a little bit of split push, and they've also got Snoopy who can do the same. Right. Of course.
And he's actually working towards a Sunfire Cape, so when he completes that item, he's going to do it even better. But I keep stressing this point, and I want to stress it because Evil Genius's mid turret is very low. I mean, Ocelot could backdoor it if he wanted to, and that would force Evil Geniuses to back off or to take those turrets quickly. As Froggen, he's just trying to keep someone there in the base. He's trying to make it so SK has to protect their middle inhibitor turret, while the rest of EG just take this bottom turret.
Yeah, and it has to be Ocelot in this case as well, of course, because he's the only one that can really move around that fast if they need to react to anything that Evil Geniuses throw their way. Rest of SK coming back up to the top side. Are we going to see EG going to go back down? It definitely looks that way.
Well, I mean, throughout the entirety of the last 6 to 7 minutes we've seen, Evil Geniuses, they got the turret, or sorry, they got the Baron, and they got a couple of kills over to SK, but they only got 1 turret off of their Baron buff. So it was more of like a defensive Baron just to kind of stay in the game, just trying to hold SK back. But they were able to get a little bit.
They stole it, right?
Yeah, exactly. They were able to get a lead off it, but they weren't able to make like plays off of it, is what I'm trying to say. And that's a good sign for SK because they're able to hold on to a lot more than they probably should have been able to. And it might give Ocelot that chance to finally go for split pushing again and maybe get that middle turret, or maybe just try to be a threat because he should be able to take Snoopy 1v1 right now.
Yellow Pete and Crepo actually headed back down to the bottom side of the map. The ward did spot Yellow Star, where did he appear from? Candy Panda very well. Once they've got that control of the jungle, is get those wards in position. SK know that. They're trying to counter that right now, which is why Nif and Candy Panda were pushed out from those turrets, trying to get rid of those. And there was Froggen again pushing the minions into that bottom lane. They're not going to be doing too much though with the presence of Ocelot and Candy Panda. And
we talked a little bit earlier about item builds in the middle lane, but I want to look at AD carries right now because it's developed, but more towards one person. It's kind of hard to describe, but let me try anyway. So Candy Panda, he had the Bloodthirster, he had the Spirit of the Elder Lizard already, but he picked up a Last Whisper next. So that's a very good item. He's going to need it. He's going to need it against especially the Random Omen Sunfire Cape that Wicked has, the Sunfire Cape, and the Aegis that Snoopy has. So it's a perfect item, but you look over on Yellow Pete, he was able to complete a Black Cleaver fully and work towards his GA. So when he gets that completed, it kind of shows that Evil Genius wants to go for...
All being popped down, but EG coming out big on that one. They've managed to get the hook on Nif. He's going to get exploded in there. Yellow Pete that gets a kill. Kevin going to be the next target here as he slices and dices his way off to the backside. Ocelot is down to half HP. Now EG starting to back away with the presence of the bear who comes charging out of the base. They don't follow up though, and EG looking like they're going to have to back off and go home before they head for Baron.
And just as I talk about Evil Geniuses maybe out of position, if one of them does go down, they could lose the Baron. They do the exact same thing to SK where they kill Nif, and they can go for Baron right off this. They need to go back and heal, though. Nif will be up in time, but it gives that nice little bit of an advantage. We have the Death Trap done for Froggen, so his damage is just ridiculous. You see how many wards are coming out for their team, where Snoopy's sitting on 5, and even have 2 on Froggen, so they will be poisoned for Baron. They want to have a dance here, and it's going to happen. And this is pretty much going to decide how the game goes, because if Evil Geniuses picks it up cleanly, they're just going to be able to walk through SK.
And we see Wicked just adding in there the Leandri's Torment to that Random Enzonement and the Sunfire Cape Sorcerer's Shoes as well. So very much between health and the damage in there. As we've been seeing from Wicked, he just went a little bit of a different way towards
a different route this time.
Yeah, to get towards that final build. Let's see then how this Baron's all going to go down. EG pushing that middle lane back. They've got wards in there. Nif going to be going in there first as the Spider with the Oracle on. Froggen got an Oracle as well. He's got plenty of gold to spend, that's for sure.
See, we have Froggen's teleport up, so what we could have happen is EG can just kind of bait SK at Baron. The only problem is they don't really have good positioning when they're over on the red side, but they can just kind of bait them for it and let Froggen split push. Exactly what they're doing right now. He has his teleport available. He can get into this fight if he needs to, and SK has to send someone to deal with him, which would most likely be Ocelot to 1v1 him. But like I said before, I'm pretty sure Froggen can kill him in this.
Yeah, I think so as well. Ocelot does have that Zhonya's finished out. The Negatron Cloak as well is obviously going to help things out, but how much you've got to wonder with that Death Cap now in there and running for him. Froggen is continuously pushing this bottom lane away. And the problem that they have is that even if it's Ocelot that comes down there, the range on Destiny is not enough to get him directly into the fight at Baron.
Right, but the one thing he does have in mind, though, is that he could stun Froggen out of the teleport if it happens. But, you know, imagine Froggen, if he's going to use teleport, he's going to get somewhere safe before he goes in with us. That's a really good point, Joe. And also, look at the wards on the bottom side of the map for Evil Geniuses. So Froggen, I mentioned earlier that he picked up 2 wards. He's trying to spot any sort of counter get coming in the bot lane. He knows he can 1v1 Ocelot. Like, he knows this. He can be only 1v2 or 2v1 at this point, and he's stopping that from happening with these wards, and it creates an opportunity for Evil Geniuses to go to Baron to kind of bait it in, maybe, or even just take it full right.
Now we see more wards being put down. With the Oracle running as well. And they've got complete vision here. There's a True Shot Barrage coming across. Actually, we'll just skim Snoopy and Crepo. I think even touched Yellow Peak there at the end.
I was wondering if it hit Wicked, but I was like, wait, Sunfire.
Everyone. Hit pretty much everyone as a hook comes across, and it's close. But no Cigar, or no Spider in this case. And it goes past Nif.
Evil Geniuses, though, they have the Guardian Angel down on Yellow Pete. They have control of this vision with this Oracle, and they're still allowing Froggen to just push this bottom lane. They're really creating a hard opportunity. They're like forcing SK to react. Wait, did Hergebot just smite?
Yeah, he did.
He just smited. This might be a mistake. Evil Geniuses could potentially go for Baron here and just take it easily.
Well, we're going to find out. EG still waiting here in the fog of war to get the jump on SK. They know that Ocelot's not there, and they know that the Destiny range is going to mean that it takes a longer time to get involved, as the hook's just been thrown in there by Crepo, and then waiting, hoping that they just pick one up.
And you're seeing it on the bottom left side of your screen, that Froggen just still pushing away. He's getting stronger and stronger. He's 317 farm at this point. His next item going to come in very shortly, but he's keeping their attention there. He's sitting on 2,300 gold, and he's forcing SK to make a move here, but SK... They're playing it so well. Like, they haven't made a mistake. Like, they're trying to be forced into a mistake by Evil Geniuses, but they're not doing it. Like, they're not making that mistake that would cost them a Baron and cost them the game.
They haven't been hooked yet.
Exactly.
Which, not the easiest thing to dodge when it's coming out.
Oh, teleport out of Frog. He's coming from behind him.
Yeah, coming in from behind, and I think they've got a whiff of this one here. They are going to be going in. Nif taking a lot of damage. We are going to see Ocelot getting up there now. He was in the middle lane. Hercubot going to get destroyed as Kevin goes low. True Shot Barrage comes in. Nif will die, and this is going to be surely a mop-up now for EG. Kevin being chased down by Froggen. Ocelot is trying his best to run away, but here comes Zac from the side. Not quite got the range there to get the slow, and Ocelot will flash away, and that will be a 3-0 for Evil Geniuses.
Wow, in that fight, I don't know if you caught it, Joe, or if even the people at home caught it, but Snoopy, he taunted Candy Panda right on the edge of his taunt while he arcane shifted away, so even though he escaped, he was still not auto-attacking anyone important. He wasn't doing the damage he needed to force EG to back away, because look how low they are at this point. If he didn't get taunted, it might have been a little bit different, but so well played by Evil Geniuses. And Froggen, that play, that was amazing. Just to come in from behind in that wolf camp, when they got the ward down, just to catch him from behind, so well done.
Really, really well played. Froggen going to be headed home. Let's have a look at the gold here and see how much EG are actually sat on. Well, it's not as much as I thought, actually. 1,100 there for Froggen on Cassidy, 1,200 for Wicked, so they're going to be going to turn those into items.
If it helps, Froggen had, I believe, like 2,500 gold at the end of that fight, picked up an AC Large Rod, and actually picked up a Secret Arm Guard as well, so he got some really good items. He just amplified his AP by a lot. A Void Staff, I wouldn't be surprised coming out after the Zhonya's, and that would pretty much make him full item build. And a 6-item build, Kassan, like, you do not want to go against that ever.
No, not even as a whole team.
Not even in your dreams when you're practicing against it. You just don't want that to happen because it'll be a nightmare, not a dream.
Well, it could still turn out that way for SK here. In reality, we have seen so many wards that it makes your eyes bleed somewhat there from SK. It's like, well, they've got an Oracle, they're going to clear them out, so the only way to stop them doing that is to put so many down that it takes them long enough to actually get rid of them all.
And keep in mind that Krepo, he doesn't really go GP10 anymore. Like, it's not really his standard item build as you're seeing on him currently. But you look at Nif, he has his Philo Stone still. It's stacked up about 995 gold throughout this entirety of the game, so he's able to pick up quite a bit of wards. He's able to sacrifice a little bit of money just to keep that vision, because as long as they keep EG off of that Baron, they still have that chance.
SK now pushing up this middle lane, but here comes Wicked from the side. He is going to bounce straight through them there. The Randuins will be popped as well. He's lost half of his HP, but Froggen's joining in. There's a bully time. He's got at least 2 of them down to half. Candy Panda's going to die. Kevin's a dead man, and Nif's probably not escaping this one either. It will be a triple kill in the end for Froggen, and that is 4 men down. It's now all on Ocelot to try and save the day here for SK Gaming. They've got the health EG here to come in and tank these 2 turrets up. Ocelot is just going to have to hope to God that he can pull out something incredible, but I don't really think that it can happen. Snoopy's actually tanking at the bottom turret up there, which is not a good idea. First one goes down. Froggen is chasing on towards Ocelot. Can he finish him? Yes, he can with a Rift Walk into the fountain. Doesn't even get hit by the laser in the back, and that will be the Nexus going down as well. And Evil Geniuses turn the game around and win match number 1 here of our 3rd place playoff.
Everything that happened throughout the entire game, Evil Geniuses just, that's the Evil G, or the EG we knew in Season 2. That's the EG we were looking for, and they seem to have found it here. I mean, you can't really count SK out either, because they played so phenomenally well just from the beginning of the game, catching on to Snoopy for that first blood. Both teams just played exceptionally well the entirety of the game, but that Baron steal, that just swung the game.